portion.
That's what the wife is doing very
Small
successfully.
portion. It's
Don't.
not.
If you don't do it, don't do
portions.
it. See, if you don't want, don't do it.
I'm trying. I'm
And
trying.
liquids.
Welcome to Garden of the Spirit, a class studying apples from the orchard. This class meets in Long Meadow, Massachusetts, the center of the universe, and is held in memory of Malka Ruth Bas Moshe Margaret Vogel of blessed memory. Apples from the Orchard contain selections of teachings of Kabbalah from the Arizal, Rabbi Yitzchak Luria, based on the weekly Torah portion, superbly translated and explained by Rabbi Moshe Wisniewski. Okay, we're up to page 780.
That's where it was, but I don't remember anything.
Let's go on.
Let's start with
Yes. Okay, Jim, you want to begin? 780.
780.
For the full explanation.
For the full explanation of that was the Rachel, wasn't it? She took the father's idols. See there at length, but the idea, in short, is this. We already know from our discussion of walking 4 cubits in the land of Israel that the radiance of Chesed and the Gevurah of Abba present in the Yesod of Abba eventually reaches Leah. In addition, we know that Leah originates from the Malchus of Ima, which is vested in Zeir Anpin. Thus, there are lights of both Abba and Ima in Leah.
Hold on. Okay, first there's Abba, which is Chachma.
Right.
Then there's Ima. And then there's Bina, which is Ima. Leah is the feminine of the intellect. So that's Bina. Leah, we said last week, extends down part way through Tiferes. I think we said 2/3 of the way through Tiferes.
Right.
So Leah is extending down from Bina, but actually she contains some of Abba, some of Chachma. And, okay. Go ahead.
So Abba is insight or abstract intellect, while Ima is applied intellect. Thought derives from applied intellect, since thought is the most natural means for intellect to express itself. The Malchus of Ima is the expression of intellect. Nonetheless, something of the inspiration of Abba is also present in thought. For we have previously explained previously, the initial purity of insight of Chachma must be present together with Bina to keep the flow of thought from going astray. Okay. Now, Leah's head is situated between the das of Zerah. Behind the das of Zeranpin, in which it is vested in the Yesod of Abba, which in turn is vested with the lights of Chesed and the Gevurah of Abba, as we just stated. The Yesod of Abba itself is vested in the Yesod of Ima, in which is vested all the other lights of Chesed and Gevurah. The Yesod of Ima is vested in the middle cavity of the skull of Zeir Anpin, which is the seat of Das, of its Das.
Okay, it's a lot of... Right.
Yeah, so...
Something of a mixed salad.
Yeah, Leah, being thought, is situated opposite the upper half of Zeir Anpin. The lights, mentalities, energies, consciousness of Abba and Ima are concealed as they descend through the upper half of Zeir Anpin, become revealed only in Zeir Anpin's Tiferet on down. Okay?
They're concealed. The lights of Abba and Ima are concealed, descending through the upper half of Zeir Anpin. They only become revealed afterwards.
Yeah. From Tiferet on down.
Okay.
Okay. Thus, when the lights of Ima shine into Leah, they have to break through two barriers. The Yesod, the vessel of Yesod of Ima, and the vessel, the skull, of the head of Zeranpin. Only then can they issue outward and enter the head of Leah, then spreading through her entire length, reaching her heels, and becoming vested in the Kesser of Rachel, as we have described.
So, the point here is that for Bina to shine through the levels of Leah that are called Leah, it has to, and we said that Leah lines up with Das and Zeranpin, so the vessel, so it has to break through two barriers, Yesod of Ima and the head of Zeranpin, and then it goes through Leah and spreads through Leah, and only after reaching her heels, then it can start the crown of Rachel. So Rachel is beneath Leah.
Yeah, like Malchus was not
Yeah,
really.
Generally,
We've said Rachel is like Malchus, and Leah is like Bina. She,
So the bottom of one reaches the top of the other.
in very general terms, Leah is thought,
right,
so it's concealed, expression that is concealed, and Rachel is speech, which is expression
Which
that's
is
revealed.
revealed.
Leah corresponds to the level of Bina, and Rachel corresponds to the level of Malchus, with Yaakov caught
Right in the middle.
between them.
Right in the middle. Always.
Always.
Yeah, that's how it works. Now, it is explained in a...
We're up to 781 at the top. Gershon, you want to stop?
Okay.
Now, it is explained in our comments on the passage regarding the Teraphim that here, the Keter of Rachel, is in the position of the heels of Leah, who herself is complete judgment, since she derives from diminished lights that issue from the location of the concealed lights, which issue only by breaking through the barriers, as we said. Her nature of complete judgment is particularly apparent in her heels, which express harsh judgment.
Okay, we haven't had anything about the heels before. So let's see what he says.
Leah is principally judgment, since she derives from the lights of Abba and Ima and are hidden within the upper half of Zeranpin, as opposed to how they become revealed when they descend to the lower half of Zeranpin, as we said. Since these lights are concealed, Leah does not benefit from the broad perspective of uncontextualized intellect. Thought is a process of weeding out invasive thoughts and focusing on the idea on which the individual wishes to think about. Thought is thus a phenomenon of judgment or rejecting competing thoughts.
Thought is, hold on.
This is...
Focusing?
It's a focus. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like laser.
So what does that mean?
So it means that
Thought-
thought is a restrictive process.
Yes,
It means it's a restrictive.
which is
Gevuric-like
the
access.
definition of Gevura
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Din,
Which is why it's on that
the left side
That
of the Sephirotic tree.
Right.
And also, Bina is also a, what did you call it? Restrictive process, because it's analysis.
Right.
And once you analyze, you're finding out
You're weeding out also chafe or whatever.
what
other
belongs,
thoughts.
but what doesn't belong.
What doesn't. You do both.
So if you have a hypothesis or you hear a certain thing that you know, a certain herb will cure whatever, then you start testing it.
Right.
And you might find out that it's only cures women, not men. Only cures people who are shorter than 5'6", but not people who are taller than 5'6". It only works by day, but not at night. And
Yeah.
this is what they do in the lab, and through their studies, they find out that it helped 60% of the people. Higher incidence of,
Yeah.
right? Of people who chew gum or something. But if you didn't chew gum, then it doesn't help you. So it's restrictive and tries to figure out when it applies, when it doesn't apply, under which conditions. And that's what thought is. And that's what the level of Leah. Which is Bina, and analysis. Amazing.
Yeah, but sounds too much like Gevura, but we're not going through Gevura here.
It is.
It's very similar.
It is Gevura.
It's a restrictive process. It's with the mental process. As you analyze, you do this all the time. You're analyzing.
I'm very judgmental.
You are.
Oy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're doing this all the time.
No, so
It's not
is your
bad.
question answered?
No, it's not a question. It's so you have it's Ima, but has a little bit of Ava, and it gets down kind of in the middle. So, but when she says it's mostly judgment, it's like, wow, it's like a Buddha, but not going through.
Well, Bina
is on top.
is on the left side of the Sephirotic tree.
Yeah.
Right
Just
above.
like above
Gevura,
Gvura.
Yeah.
Bina performs the same function as Gvura. Because Gvura tells you, usually in the classic example, or token example, we say that Bina restricts how you're going to be benevolent. Chesed, you want to be benevolent just to anyone, and Gvura makes it a very restrictive process, and the person withholds that expressions of benevolence, or actions of benevolence. Bina performs the same function to Chachma, to logic. So Chachma is a statement without any logic to it. Well, we had this somewhere. I had this somewhere else last week. Without any logic to it, it's the statement, it's the hypothesis, and then
inspiration. It's the inspiration,
Spark,
the spark.
it's a concept.
It's a concept, but it's the
Vague,
flash.
vague.
And what the Bina does is it isolates that concept. It does two things, and it eliminates
funnels. Yeah.
conflicting concepts or conflicting thoughts,
So Leah is,
so that you can concentrate. So I did this all day today. As part of my work, I would take an issue and analyze this person's conclusions, this social worker, about a custody piece. And so I was thinking, well, did they consider this? Did they consider this? And they arrived at a solution. They arrived at a conclusion, but their arrival of the conclusion, I had to figure out where it was faulty and where it wasn't faulty. So my analysis had to work all of those different.
Had to question it.
Had to question it, and see if it passed the smell test all the way around.
yeah, you analyze. Yeah.
And that's
Exactly.
how it was analyzed. So
The
we used it all day, and that's a form of judgment.
Yeah.
Restricted.
there is it's like Chachma is how you get the grant money. It's that grant proposal that's going to get you the money for the grant.
Right.
Then you do Bina, where you're testing it.
Sounds like that. The heels express harsh judgment because they are hard-skinned.
Hold on a second.
Where are you?
The last.
No, we haven't gotten there. Leah is.
He's in. He's
Yeah, we finished that one, I thought.
Did that?
Yeah. So the heels express hard judgment because they are
Oh, yeah,
hard-skinned, designed to be impervious to attacks from thorns and rough ground.
Yeah.
So it really weeds out all the dross. That's all I can think of. All of the garbage.
Bina.
Bina does, yeah.
I was thinking about the heels this morning. You bundle up. You know, you have a warm hat, warm coat, gloves, and what do you put on your feet? Shoes. Your regular shoes, and they're not cold.
I had Crocs.
What?
I brought Crocs because that's what I was wearing
Me too.
at that time.
And it's not a big deal. I
Yeah,
was-
from the car to the.
I was falling for my gloves. I was
Yeah, that's my
I
old
was
jacket. Oh.
yeah, I was desperate for my gloves, but the Crocs.
Yep. They're impervious. For these reasons, the forces of evil can derive sustenance from this level and a radiance of set lights of Ima that is pressed down to Leah's heels, which break through the Keter of Rachel's head and enter into it, as we said, issue outside, and the forces of evil latch onto it. Could you make that a little longer?
Yeah, I get that.
So from this level now, when it says from this level is which level?
The heels.
So the forces of evil comes
Into the Kesser of Rachel's head.
Yeah.
So it's that point.
Straight down.
The
And
heels
you
into
break
the
through the Keter of Rachel's head, and to, yeah, we said issue outside.
What he says
the
here
forces of
is
evil latch into
that
onto the
being that
heels.
it's judgment. Hold on. It says that being that it's judgment, evil is able to latch onto it.
All right.
Basically, that's what
Right.
it says.
Even though the purpose of judgment is to preserve the integrity of holiness, its downside is that when it gets wrapped up in its own momentum, it begins to focus on the negative aspects of all parts of reality, turning on the good it intended originally to protect. This is the perfect opportunity for evil to gain a foothold. As we all unfortunately know, well-intended but unchecked anger and judgment is the ruin of many otherwise salvageable situations. You know that.
What?
Well-intended but unchecked anger and judgment is the ruin of a otherwise salvageable situation. I had that today.
Yeah.
I have can't see this. How do I say it? One of the people in this divorce is so angry that their anger is diminishing their capacity to regain custodial rights.
Or protect the children. I mean, it's such an anger to the
Or
partner.
protect it. That would be the opposite. Another
Yeah.
way. This is
Yeah.
this
It's a good-
is exactly what happened.
Remind me of you, of your work, not you. The part of the lights of Ima that reaches Leah's two heels and breaks through and enters Rachel's head and shines outward to the force of evil
Oh,
is
no.
called Balak.
Hold on.
We're back.
Hold on.
Hold on.
We're back.
Hold on. No.
This is
So the light of Ima gets to the heels, gets to Rachel,
Shines to the force of evil.
is called Balak.
wait a minute before you go on.
But Balaam is like a little better
The-
dude. Balak is like the prince and Balaam is the sorcerer, correct?
Balak is the regent.
Okay. Yeah.
Bilam is the sorcerer.
Yeah, he has a little, a little better, little good in him. You know,
Well,
he's
they-
prophet or whatever.
Balak?
No, Balaam.
Balaam is good in
Yeah.
him?
Well, a little bit. You know, he has communication with Hashem.
Yeah, but he was like,
Pretty bad.
In the end,
he was a bad hombre.
I know.
Oh, pretty bad. Can't get much worse than him.
But yeah, the the Hebrew word that it says to break through
Yeah.
is a verb I've never seen before.
Uh-huh.
It's you take making a verb out of bullock.
Oh,
So it bullocks through and enters
Really?
Rachel's head.
wow. So how what's the word?
Bolkim.
Huh?
I mean, in Hebrew, we have that very often, where the crossover between noun and verb is
Yeah.
happens all the time, and that's fine. But I've never seen Balak used aside from his name as a noun or a verb
Wow.
before. So the Arizal here uses it as a verb
Oh, that's what he says.
that it breaks through.
Yeah. This is so for two reasons. First, the meaning of the word Balak is to break through. And thus refers to how these heels break through Rachel's head and enter it. Since they shine outward through breaking through, they're called Balak.
Huh? Hold on.
The rays of
This-
light.
Through her head, from her head.
All right.
Did he say both reasons?
Well, let's see.
No, there's only one
First.
reason.
All right. So
Hold
yeah,
on.
This is the first reason only.
Correct.
So here too, he says that the heels in English, he translates
Breakthrough.
that they break through Rachel's head.
Yeah.
He uses two words that
And
form that each one has half of balak in it. One is bolim, they swallow, or they and bokim, they pierce.
Uh-huh.
Which could also, so I don't know if he's like making another play on words, how these two words are together would form balak, or that one of them is the word bilam, and they enter it,
That's
and they don't leave.
So you mean breakthrough and enter
I'm sorry,
in Hebrew?
huh?
There are two, you're right. There are two words, breakthrough and enter.
Which one?
So what's the Hebrew?
They break through Rachel's head and enter it.
The breakthrough has over here has two Hebrew words, bolim and bokim. It means they pierce. They split through.
Okay. This is second. Second, Jethro was the ancestor of Balak, as we said, and he embodied the yesod of Ema, page 782, on the top, which was also embodied in Cain, as we explained in our comments on the commandment that the king should not have many wives. Yesod of Ema is indicated by the name Ekie, specifically the four known spellings of out of Ekie. That means 2 using the letter Yud, 1 using the letter Aleph, and 1 using the letter He. The combined numerical value of all of them is the same as of Jethro, plus the 3 kollels for the 3 spelling outs. The numerical value of the names of Ekie spelled with the letter Yud is 322.
Again?
The numerical value of the two names Ekie spelled with the letter Yud is 322. That of the name of Ekie spelled with the letter He is 151. That of the name Ekie spelled with the letter Aleph is 146. 322 plus 151 plus 146, 619.
What is 322 divided by 2?
150, 161.
It's 161.
Is that right? Yes, okay. My brain's not working. Vacation is not good.
You're starving yourself.
No, it's vacation. Oh, yeah, 161, yeah.
So Ekie once is 161. For some reason, we're counting it twice. And that is, there are 2 He's there. So it's Aleph. Usually he goes into greater detail. Aleph is 111. Aleph Lamed Pei, 130 and 80 is 111. In expanded spelling, the letter Aleph is 111. The letter He is 15. Yud is 20, and He Yud again 15. I say so 111, 15 and 15 is 141, and then 20, 161. So do that twice, and then expanded spelling He, 151, and then expanded spelling with He Aleph is 146. And what am I missing here? 322, 151, and 146.
619.
Yeah, can we check it? 2 and 1 is 3, plus 6 is 9.
2, 7, 11.
2 and 5 is 7. 7 and 4 is 1, is 11.
Yeah.
And that's 619.
All right.
Okay. Yisro
It's 616.
616.
is 616. So,
3 kolos.
plus the 3 kolos?
Yeah.
Well, 616 plus 3 kollels,
plus 3
619.
kolos.
But you're adding the wrong kolos.
That's what he says here, though. He says it is as that of Yitro plus
Have
the
we
3
ever
kolos
found
for
a
the 3
logic?
spellings out.
In Hebrew, it's not there.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's just missing or if he understood that and understood himself. I did get an email. I emailed him.
It's commentary because it's not dark. It's
Right.
Yeah.
So I did email him about something that we saw last week that we explained,
Right.
and he did respond right away.
Okay.
That's pretty interesting that you're using the 3 colos for the other team.
For the, yeah, you're right.
That's cool.
I looked up.
You're trying to make 619 be 616, but we're making 616 be 619.
I looked up this morning. I googled quickly that close doesn't count except in you. You don't know?
Close doesn't count?
Horseshoes.
Horseshoes and
Oh, close doesn't count.
close doesn't count except in horseshoes and hand grenades
Hand grenades.
and gematria.
Come on.
No, we can always make it what we want.
Wow.
All right, Balak is...
Jim, you want to continue? 782.
Balak is Yitro's descendant, who is derived from him, as we said. He's derived from Ema, from whose Malchus Leah is constructed, all the way to her heels.
Hold on.
Yeah.
What? Okay, so Balak is a descendant of Yisro.
Mm-hmm. And Balak,
And the Malchus of Ema
yeah,
is the source of Leah. Okay, the wording is a little, in the Hebrew, in the original wording is a little convoluted. The Leah comes from the Malchus of Bina, but she is from Bina. And then it reaches her heels. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
the lights that issue from the lights of Ema, which are present in Zeranp and into Leah, are the 4 mentalities expressed through the 4 spellings of the name Chavaya, whose numerical values are 72, 63, 45, 52. Their roots, the 4 names, 4 letters of the name Chavaya itself, remain in Zeranpin, while the letters used to spell them out shine outward to Leah.
Just the secondary letters in expanded spelling.
As is known, feminine is alluded to in the letters used to spell out the name. The numerical value of the 4 sets of letters that are used to spell out the name, that spell out the name these 4 ways, together with the 4 kollels, is the same as that of Balak.
Which means we have what we call the primary letters, here he calls root letters, and then the secondary letters.
Mm-hmm.
This idea is not uncommon. I have come across it in a number of places. So what is, let me ask you guys, well, the primary letters of Hashem's name equals what? How much is the primary letters?
The total amount?
No, just one from one time.
What?
You have 72, 63, 45, and
But just the
50.
primary letters from each one. This is 72, 63, 45,
Okay,
and 52
so- Yeah, the
are
4 letters.
expanded.
These are expanded. So
But if you look just at the primary letters, how much is the
Yud-Hey-
primary?
Yud-Hey, Vav-Hey.
Is
So you've got
26.
26.
26.
So 26 4 times.
104.
52 times 104.
104.
Yeah, 104.
104. So what is 72, 63, 45, and 52?
132. Oh, no. 128? No. I'm just guessing. 2, 5, 10, 12. 1,
Yes,
8,
12.
8, 14, 18, 230. I forget. What was it? 5, 10, 132. 232. 100.
72 plus 63 plus 45 plus 52
Yeah.
is 232.
All right.
Here, Jim,
Yeah, go
is
ahead.
where smartphones come in very handy.
Yes.
Do you ever use the calculator?
Yes,
All
I
the
do.
time.
I do all the time.
All the time. I'm
Okay.
kind of,
Yeah.
I'm doing one of these right now.
Yeah, my brain is not.
Yeah.
So actually, I think in our very second class,
Yeah.
maybe the first class, I pointed out the 232, the total of all of these four names of Hashem,
Yeah,
is the gematria of Hashem's first statement in the Torah, Yehi or, let there be light.
Uh-huh.
Or, Aleph Vav Resh is 207. Yehi is 25. 207 and 25. Yehi or. So Hashem says, let there be light means let shine the full force of the four combinations
Right.
of Hashem's name. So that's 232.
right.
That's an easy way to remember it. just
That's a
like
good
you.
way. Yeah, I got it.
So now, however, we want to take away the root letters. Before we said that the root letters equal, we just said, I asked you,
232?
26.
26 for one name, but these are
Yes.
four names.
Yes.
So we have 26.
Well, expanded?
No, not
20
expanding,
no,
the
no.
primary letters. You better start eating again. The primary letters.
So
26 times 4
Okay.
is 104. You just
104.
told me that.
104.
So 232,
Yep.
take away all the primary letters, minus 104 equals 128.
128. Yep. God, you're the scientist,
No, I'm
mathematician.
not. I'm on vacation.
Alan's away.
128.
128. So now, so go ahead, Jim.
Okay.
we're getting
So the
through.
numerical value of the letters.
I'm sorry, he's going to add it up differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
We
comes
added
from-
up all totals
Yeah, he
and then
comes from
subtracted the
Right.
primaries.
He comes from another direction.
Just he's only adding the secondary
The second
letters.
Right. The numerical value of the letters used to spell out 72 name is 46. That of the letters used to spell out 63 is 37. That of the letters used to spell out 45 is 19. That of the letters used to spell out 52 is 26. 46 plus 37 plus 19 plus 26 is the 128. Balak, Beit, Lamed, Kuf, 2 plus 30 plus 10 is 132. And before he says, you got 4 kollels
Yeah.
in this one.
So now we're going to add the 4 kollels to the 4 names.
No.
To the
Oh,
to the
yeah, yeah,
128.
Yeah, no.
128.
So
this-
that's
Now you're
That's
do-
kosher.
now
That's
you're
on the
do- now
right
you're doing it
side.
the other way.
I was thinking exactly that.
This is
Just
this
closer.
way. Okay.
One moment. No need for an apostrophe. Okay. Phew.
This indicates that Balak was rooted in these 4 spelling outs, that is, in the two heels of Leah that break through Rachel's head. We explain this idea in more in our discussion of the verse, who envisions the vision of the Almighty further on.
That was one of Balak's prophecies. And I'm sorry. He says these are the words of Chief Daddy Idi Amin Dada, whatever, big bad.
Boy.
Who is it? What's the song? Big Bad Mac, whatever. So he says, and that's how he refers to himself, the one who envisions the vision of the Almighty. Who is fallen, who falls, and eyes are open. So this means, why is Balak at 132? Why is he the same number as the as all four names of Hashem, secondary letters, because he was rooted in them. The two heels of Leah that break through Rachel's head.
I don't understand that. Well, I mean, what's the connection about being rooted in the four spellings? What does it mean? Meaning that would be a saintly guy, correct?
Don't go into it.
Yeah, you forgot something though.
What?
Go back to the page before, 781.
All right.
Talk about evil here.
Go to the middle
Evil,
where it says, this is the perfect opportunity.
for evil to latch.
Yeah. And what does have to
Read
do
it.
with the four spellings?
Please read it out loud.
Where? This is for evil to gain a foothold. As we unfortunately know, well intended but unchecked anger and judgment is the ruin of many otherwise salvageable
Okay?
situations.
So that's where Balak gained his foothold. That's where he,
Who was angry?
huh?
Who is this anger?
I think they use anger as an example. But that's not the only, evil to gain nourishment, to latch.
But being
latch on.
rooted in the four spellings, that doesn't represent anything good, or?
It's very good. However, it's done through judgment. And we said when it's done through judgment, there's an opening for evil to latch on.
He's requesting a curse from Balaam.
I'd say destructive. There's a destructive force in him, Balak. As much as anger, he just wants to destroy. There's that
not from a
piece.
spiritual side, but if I take the story, he's acting out of fear.
Balak?
Oh, the Jews came out and they're so...
Balak just wants to obliterate.
No, but he had a reason to be
Yeah.
afraid.
He wanted to protect his people.
Yep. But he was not a good guy.
And he's doing it in a negative, destructive way.
He wasn't a good guy.
Yeah, I get that.
Was he really threatened? There was a question. I didn't get he was really that threatened. He uses that excuse,
Well,
but
yeah.
I didn't see him that threatened. He says that. He justifies it. He says that.
Well, the story is implying some fear given the history, or the recent history of these people.
There was something I heard about Balak, is that he's a kind of anti-Semite. They're both anti-Semites, but he's a kind of anti-Semite that
He hides
it.
Yeah,
He hides
yeah.
it.
Through-
He hides
for an
it, but
excuse.
it's still there. It's still there.
So like this BDS was called?
Well, even those, that's kind of out there, but
'Cause
but
it's
even
indirect.
this he's more covert. I mean,
Yeah.
he's hidden about it, and then he comes out with it for this justification. But he really just wants to destroy.
And Balaam, it's bound in the beginning by Hashem, but then in the end gives the final solution. Just get your floozies to seduce.
Well, he's also destructive, but he doesn't necessarily hide it. And when he tries to hide it, when he tries to do it, he can't.
He can't. Yeah.
The point here
I just
is that all evil has no nourishment independently. It has to latch into holiness somewhere.
for its force.
Yeah.
It has to come in. So
And that's the real point here. That's the real message.
So this is a powerful form of evil that isn't taking dregs. It's hitting it as it's flowing from a deeper source. Some evil is dregs.
Yeah.
This is a deeper evil.
What they call low level operatives.
Yeah.
These are the
Yeah.
ones at the top.
All right, let's go for...
Okay, 782 at the bottom.
Who goes? As for Balaam, he derives principally from the lights of Das of Abba, as we said. The explanation of this is as follows. When the lights of Abba shine outside to Leah, they have to break through three barriers: Yesod of Abba, Yesod of Ima, and Zerampin's head. Only then they can reveal outside and enter Leah's head. They subsequently spread throughout her entire stature, all the way to her heels. These heels then break through and enter Rachel's Keter. Now, Rachel's Keter is in the context of called the place where these lights are absorbed, for it closes Leah's two heels and absorbs their light within it. Rachel's entire stature.
The Hebrew, sorry,
yeah.
the Hebrew word that he translates as absorbed is very close to bil.
Like it's swallow, like you said before.
Swallow.
Yeah.
The usual translations.
Oh, so swallows and enters, Balaam and Balak. Or Kim. Rachel's stature is constructed out of revealed lights. That means those lights that shine from Zerampin's chest downward. Rachel therefore exhibits more mercy than does Leah. But in this location, that means her Keter, her light is dim because it must shine through a number of barriers, that means vessels. For the light that issues from the Yesod of Ima, which terminates at the chest of Zerampin, Yesod of Ima, is revealed there, breaks through the back of the vessel of Tiferes of Zerampin, and shines outward towards Rachel. Must first traverse the barrier of the back of the vessel of Rachel's head, which is right next to the body of Zerampin, as is known. It must then traverse two more barriers, that means that of each of Leah's heels, which are there inside Rachel's head, as we said. Each heel has two barriers, its back and its front. It must then traverse from the front of the vessel of Rachel's head. Traverse the front of the vessel of Rachel's head. Only then do these lights reach Rachel's Keter, which is situated in her front. It is obvious thus that these lights must be considerably weakened by the time they reach Rachel's Keter, and therefore the powers of evil can latch onto them. Okay, that's a long way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, travels
we
very
go- we
far,
go-
as
well-
you can see.
So
We just
whatever
traveled
lights
far.
come from Yesod of Ima,
It starts from Ze'er Anpin.
Downward.
all right.
It starts at the chest of Ze'er Anpin. These are revealed lights. Leah is from concealed lights,
Yeah.
from Chachma and Bina. And Rachel is from
Revealed.
revealed lights.
This is especially true when we consider another reason that we have explained in our discussion of the tree of knowledge. That means that wherever the lights of Ima are revealed outside their sheath, the powers of evil can latch on. Okay. Therefore, from the radiance that reaches Rachel's Keter, in which are absorbed Leah's two heels, a farther radiance shines outward to the powers of evil. This is the location of Balaam, who is so named because Rachel's Keter absorbs Bolea, Leah's heels.
Hold on, please.
Yeah. So, okay, so
We'll do a little more.
now I'm
Nonetheless-
going back to saying that Balak is rooted in the two heels of Leah that break through Rachel's head. And Balaam is from the light that emanates.
So from the lights of Abba and Rachel's Kesser,
Yeah.
which is, comes to the next couple, not 2 lines down.
We thus see that Balak is from the lights of
Hold
Ima.
on, you
Yeah.
did nonetheless?
Nonetheless.
Oh, nonetheless, Balaam's chief origin is the lights of Abba that enters Leah, and but that was that was a little, that was not that direct. Remember, so she had a little Abba, but
Right, we said that Leah had some Abba in her.
Yeah.
That's really the source of Bilam.
For Balaam, okay. Nonetheless, Balaam's chief origins in the light is in the lights of Abba that entered Leah and extend to Rachel's Keter, as we said. We thus see that Balak is from the lights of Ima in Leah's heels, while Balaam is from the lights of Abba in Rachel's Keter.
Hold on.
Which is a long way.
Okay. Okay, I think, yeah, we'll do one.
All right.
Hold on. Let's do one more.
Yeah. It appears to me, Chaim Vital, that this is how we understand that Balak and Balaam comprise elements of both Cain and Abel. For there is light from Abba and Ima in both of Leah's heels and in Rachel's head. Mm-hmm. It is just that Leah's heels derive mainly from the lights of Ima, while Rachel's Keter derives mainly from the lights of Abba. So it appears to me.
Okay, I don't see that connection.
In my opinion.
I don't see.
Let's go to the next one.
I'd rather, huh?
Hold that, you want to hold?
Yeah. Yes. I think we'll pause here. We still got another like 6 pages. Okay.
But if the light of Abba that reaches Rachel's Keter is through the heels of Leah,
Yeah.
I don't know, seems, I'm visualizing very little. It has to be enough for evil, obviously, but
They're both evil. They're different kinds of evil, but they're both real evil. This is heavy duty stuff. And they both are a perversion of light. They're a perversion of light. They both pervert the light.